Modular buildings. They're fun to build. They're attractive on the shelf. They look great together. They're almost the only sets I leave assembled after building and put on display. Other sets might sit on my desk for a week or two, but eventually they get broken up and parted back into the larger collection. Late in 2018, when the LEGO Movie 2 sets were revealed, there was one that really caught my eye. Emmett's Dream House/Rescue Rocket. It looked great. A combination of the retro old LEGO house style with newer colors and parts. It featured a good sampling of characters from the movie and became the one set that I had to have from that line. It was a joy to build. And during the process, I noticed a lot of parts that reminded me of the Creator Expert modular buildings I'd built. I knew if I left the dream house on the shelf, it would eventually be broken back up into the larger collection. I just don't have the space to display a playset like this. Then I looked at my modulars shelf. There was room. Not a lot, but some room. What if I could rebuild the dream house into some kind of modular? Then I could display it alongside the rest of my modular buildings. Emmett's modular dream house was born. It was a super fun project. And when I posted the instructions on Rebrickable, I was surprised to see how many others reacted so positively to my redesign. The response was so strong that I followed up with a second modular mock. The pop-up party bus became the pop-up party disco. Since then, almost every time I see a set on the shelf at the store, I'm asking myself, will it modular? To that end, I've started to get scientific about it. I've developed a bare minimum criteria for creating an alternate modular mock out of any given set. I want all of you to be able to build your own modular mocks out of whatever sets you might have lying around. Now, it's important to figure out if the sets you have the right number of pieces, otherwise you might get halfway through your modular mock and realize you don't have enough bricks, or you don't have any window pieces, or you don't have any doors, or something like that. So I've tried to get scientific about this and really break it down into 5 things that you really need. And I've created this little mock-up here. This is a super ugly modular mock, just to illustrate the overall size and the number of bricks that you need. And surprisingly, a lot of sets that aren't that expensive have at least this many pieces, and will allow you to build something that's comparable in size to one of the official Creator Expert mocks. So the first thing you need is the base plate, and I'm going to take this top part off here to show you. The base plate that you need is an 8x16 plate, and they don't make these 8x16 actual base plates anymore. They just make the regular full thickness plates. So if your set has one of those, that's going to be a great base to build on top of. If not, you can always get an 8x16 base plate from a third-party source online somewhere, because they did used to make that size base plate. And I've done that with some of the modular mocks, the Emmett's Modular Dream House and the Party Disco that I shared. Those are actually on true base plates now. But for the purposes of my criteria for will a particular set give you enough pieces to make a modular, I'm going to say it has to include enough plate pieces to make this 8x16. Now, it doesn't have to be the full 8x16 plate. Maybe you could get away with an 8x8 plate out front and then some other plates in the back and find a way to hook them together with the bricks. But at a minimum, you need this for the base. The next thing you need is the tiles out front, the sidewalk. All of the sidewalks on the modulars are the same size. They're usually either 8 studs deep or 7 studs deep. So if it's 8 studs deep and it's 8 studs wide, that means you need 64 studs worth of tile. And tile can be actual tile pieces, it can be grill pieces, basically anything that's smooth. Even a modified, like a jumper plate can work as well. Some of the newer LEGO Creator Expert modulars actually have studs on the front, which allows you to put people on the sidewalk and have them not fall over if you need to move the modular around or something. So there's a lot of kind of wiggle room there, but you need 64 studs or 56 studs if you're only going to go to a sidewalk that's 7 studs deep. So keep that in mind. Next we have the walls, and the walls were a tricky thing. I did some research online, and there are some places where this modular spec has been kind of detailed, but The overall height of the buildings is kind of in flux. If you look across all of the LEGO modulars that have been released, you can see they are all different heights. So I wanted to find a criteria that had the right height so that it looks like it's going to blend in. It's going to make sense. It's not going to be too short or too tall. So I measured all of the modulars that have already been released to see how tall the walls are on each of the floors, so we could figure out for our modulars that we're going to create, how tall do each of the floors need to be. Let's take a look at those now. In order to measure the modulars, I needed a ruler, so this is what I built. It makes it easy for me to see what something is 7 bricks tall, 8 bricks tall, 9, 10, 11, or 12 bricks tall. I can just hold it up to the modular, like so, and then count how many bricks high each of the floors are. So the downtown diner's first story is 10 bricks tall. Detective's office, 10 bricks tall. Parisian restaurant, 10 bricks tall. I'm seeing a pattern here. Palace Cinema, 11 bricks tall. Pet shop, 10 bricks tall. Grand Emporium, 9 bricks tall. Brick Bank, 11 bricks tall. Assembly Square actually has 2 separate stories that come apart. So this is the left side of Assembly Square, which is 9 bricks tall, and the right side of Assembly Square, which is 11 bricks tall. We'll take a look at how all of these stack up after we look at the rest of the floors. Let's measure the second floor. Downtown Diner, 7 bricks. Detective's Office, 8 bricks. Parisian Restaurant, 8 bricks. Palace Cinema, 11 bricks. Pet Shop, 8 bricks. Grand Emporium, 9 bricks. Brick Bank, 8 bricks. Assembly Square, left side, 8 bricks. Assembly Square, right side, 7 bricks. Let's take a look at the third floor. Downtown Diner, 8 bricks. Detective's Office, 7 bricks. Parisian Restaurant, 9 bricks. Palace Cinema, this one's a little tricky. We're going to call it 7 bricks. Pet Shop, 7 bricks. Grand Emporium, 8 bricks. Brick Bank, 6 bricks. Assembly Square left, 8 bricks. Assembly Square right, 7 bricks. So when we put all of the measurements together, you can see there is some variance in height from floor to floor, but we can draw a straight line across many of these and come up with a common 25 bricks. And in fact, I mismeasured Pet Shop. It's actually only 24 bricks tall when I compared it to my demo modular. So in order to make the requirements as easy to achieve as possible for our modular mocks, we're going to shoot for just 24 bricks high. And the way I've broken that down in my demo here is a 9 brick tall first floor, a 9 brick tall second floor, and a 6 brick tall third floor, which means you're going to need 672 studs of brick. Now those don't all have to be just 1x bricks. Obviously doors, windows, anything that you can use to build a wall is going to be able to achieve that piece count that you need, that stud count that you need. And so what that leaves you is a 6x6 interior. Show that over here. So you've got a 6x6 interior and you've got 8x8 walls all the way around. So far we've talked through the base plate, the sidewalk, and the walls. Now let's talk about the floors that we need. Obviously you need another base plate, 8x8 for the second floor, and that's also the ceiling of the first floor, right? You also need a base plate for the third floor, which is going to be the floor of the third floor and the ceiling of the second floor. So that's another 8x8 base plate. And then one more for the roof. So we've got another base plate here for the roof. So that's 3 8x8 base plates to take care of the floors / ceilings. So we've got the bottom base plate, the sidewalks, the walls, the floor and ceilings, and the last thing we need are the seams. So the reason I can take these apart so easily, it's the same technique that they use in the Creator Expert line. You use a combination of tiles and studs in between the floors. This allows them to click together and be able to be moved around, but you can also separate them very easily. And so for that, we're going to need 24 studs of tile for each seam, and we're going to need 4 studs of plate for each seam. So overall, that works out to 12 studs of plate for the seams, and 24 times 3, let me do the math on the fly, 72, I believe, studs of tile. I'll correct that later if I'm wrong on that. 72 studs of tile for the seams. So those are our 5 main ingredients that we need. We need a base plate, we need sidewalk tile, we need bricks for the walls, we need base plates to go in, or we need plates to go in between the floors, and we need tiles and plates for the seams. And when that all comes together, it looks like this. Now, just for comparison, I've got one side of the pet shop modular over here to show how it stacks up. And as you can see here, let me pull it back a little bit so it's in camera. You can see that they're basically the same height. The pet shop modular is 24 bricks high, essentially. Obviously, we've got a chimney and some other details here, and you'll want to do that with your modular as well. But the sidewalks line up. You can see the front walls there line up. I'm going to push it over here in the detail camera so you can see a little better. You can see that the sides line up there. We've got our basis for our modular mock. So that's how you do it. That's how you decide, given a particular set, does it have enough bricks, plates, and tiles for me to be able to build a modular with it. And like I said, keep it small. That allows you to buy more affordable sets, some of the cheaper sets, and see if you have enough to do it. Now, next time, I'm going to share my next modular mock that I've created using a very affordable set. I actually had to use 2 of them, but they're so affordable that it's still going to be probably less than $50 US to be able to build one of these. I'm excited to share that in my next video. In the meantime, leave a note in the comments for a particular set that you'd like to see turned into a modular. It can be a little modular like this, or maybe there's a really big set you'd like to see turned into a modular. I'd love to get your feedback on that because it's going to help me know what kind of videos you want to see next. In the meantime, remember, build each other up, don't tear each other down, and have fun building your own modular mocks. Happy building.